Sir, why are you at this event?
I'm here to show support for the Constitution, I suppose, and limited government, and to roll back our spending of the U.S. government currently happening under this administration.
That's what this is really all about. The future of America. It's something we all care about. Republicans, Democrats, and independents. We all want a bright tomorrow in which our children may live. And when disastrous fiscal policies, like the current ones in Washington, arise, it is our obligation as Americans, both Republican and Democrat, to stand up and fight. Never before have we seen such a straight path to national self-destruction. For the past 2.5 centuries, the people of our nation have held the great track record of building a better future for their children. Our forefathers fought in the American Revolution to secure the life of this very country and the rights which we exercise today. Their children and grandchildren were called as well to stand up for the future of America. They fought and died so that all Americans would be free from the evil that was slavery. Their grandchildren would then stand up against the greatest evil this world has ever seen, as they fought the terrors of Nazi Germany. Every past generation of Americans has contributed their fair share, so that the generation of their tomorrow could live in prosperity. But today, this generation in Washington is succeeding at throwing all that hard work out the window. The President, Congress, and our own state government are choosing to waste what we have today so that we may have absolutely nothing tomorrow. Over $500 billion in spending packages, more than $1 trillion in so-called stimulus packages, all on top of a $3.4 million budget proposed. That's how much money the President and Congress plan to spend in this year alone, adding more and more to the already massive national debt. Now, I'm only in basic economics class, but my teacher, Mr. Fishkill, who's here today, has made it very clear in his lessons that it's unwise to spend money that you don't have. As we saw with AIG, and are seeing now with companies like General Motors, nothing is too big to fail. Even the greatest of companies, and in this case, countries, can go bankrupt. It's really not impossible to think that our country will finally collapse under a deficit which will be unpayable for generations to come. Any day, the world can suddenly decide to stop paying our trillion-dollar spending sprees. On what day will we no longer be able to pay our soldiers? When will the Social Security checks stop coming in the mail because the government has run entirely out of resources? The politicians talk about oil, saying we need to come up with alternative solutions before we run out. Well, what about money? With our current deficits, it would seem we've already run out of that. But don't worry, we don't even have to trust the politicians with finding a solution for this one. I've got one right here. Stop spending. What bothers me the most is that this answer is so obvious, and so obviously right as well. But the problem is, these guys are so addicted to the ridiculous spending. They're so wrapped up in the now, they've decided they can cast our future to the dogs. What they do is prey on the helpless. Those who are desperate often cast the voices of reason aside. They look for instantaneous solutions to long-term problems. And that is where people like President Obama swoop in and throw money at problems, telling people it'll work. We all watched this past November as he used this to get elected. And we've seen this happen in the past. But what we have never seen is this kind of policy actually work. Never in the history of this entire world have programs like this actually worked. What it is, my friends, is socialism.
Yes! 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 Yes!
We saw complete socialism crumble in the USSR.
That's right.
We watched over the past 2 decades as Europe moved slowly towards socialism. Now, they're even worse off than we are in this current economic climate. The fact is, wasting money never works. It doesn't work in our homes, and it sure doesn't work in government. Now, that's all frustrating in its own right. But what's even more infuriating is watching all this happen and knowing how it will end. Today, I am enraged and scared because I am being forced to watch my future and the future of my children be washed down the drain by those who care little for the America of tomorrow. Today, I am forced to watch helpless as myself and one day my children and your children are put under a pile of debt which we will not be able to pay off for generations to come. At a glance, my future would seem bright. I'm active in my community. I'll be graduating from a good Catholic high school this June. Then I'll be off to college, and hopefully after that, law school. I have a great family and group of friends who will support me in whatever path I choose to pursue. What I don't have going for me is a government which will allow me to do so. Right now, they've loaded us up with so much useless spending and debt that your children will have to work a lifetime to pay it off. This is where the real problem hits. The real reason why I think all of you here today should stand up with me and show our president and congressmen what they're doing wrong. You see, as I said before, it's our obligation as participants in this American dream to build our children's America. And quite frankly, that's not what's happening. What we are watching is the swift decimation of American values. Today, we are watching as our government strips away the principles on which we have thrived for 2.5 centuries. America is abandoning its platform of freedom in favor of government control. Hat are slowly fading away as we inch closer and closer to the President and Congress's ultimate goal of a socialist America. I ask you all today to fight with me, for my generation, for my children's generation. Don't stop fighting just because tax day has come and we've had our protest. Call your congressmen, write your senators, and even the White House. The future of this country is far too important to simply watch it crumble.
Where's John Hall? Where's John Hall?
We need to stop this wasteful spending. We need to stop this government control, and we need to stop it now. Let's work together from today onwards to build our children's America. Thank you all, and God bless America.